If you don't do this, you will fall behind. You will not be considered in the search engines against competitors. You will not be considered by AI overviews, whatever AI models you're using, ChatGPT, if you don't diversify your traffic source to your brand or your website. I'm sounding like a broken record here for the last 5 years, but I've seen this. It's no longer a nice to have. It's now just a necessity, which I'm rolling out, most of my campaigns have already had this rolled out for years. So what I'm talking about here is everything I do is about getting leads, people that will contact your business on that desirable key term, or they will contact your business from an ad they will see maybe on Facebook or Instagram. That's the only thing I optimize for. And I reverse engineer, how do we get these leads? We can show up on Google, we can show up on Google Maps, people's devices, people's phones. Now, since the latest few releases of AI with the search engines, you're basically seeing natural language models in the overviews, in the SERPs, meaning you're just chatting and seeing responses. Now, to appear in those searches, you need to have baseline SEO. So AI is essentially those AI overviews, simply convenient interfaces which are layered over the top of search engines, which allow you to conveniently chat, right? This is all because we're so lazy, we want things organized on a silver platter. Now, what that means is traffic from search engines on key terms like how to do this, where do I go for this, you will no longer be receiving that traffic. Meaning if your website is concentrated on how-to guides and things like that, which we're still absolutely going to be creating and writing and ranking, but don't expect to get traffic from those anymore. The reason we still make them is, one, we have to prove ourselves topically an authority on the topic and relevant to the search engines. And when the content is good enough, they'll quote us, because at the end of the day, AI overviews, the source of the data comes from a book, a document, a website, right? So traffic diversification now has never been more important. Meaning, what does that actually mean though? It means businesses now must allocate resources to putting out video content, reels, stuff that will be loaded onto Facebook, YouTube. These things can be syndicated. Depending on your industry, will depend on how hectic it needs to be. But basically, when the search engines, when AI sees diversification and traffic coming from LinkedIn and Facebook and TikTok, it respects you a little bit more, like backlinks. The more of them you have from a number of sources, relevant sources, trustworthy sources, lots of them, the more it respects you. Same with this. When the search engines, being Google, which are then layered over with AI, see traffic coming from various methods, they see it as a trust signal. Then a big one is brand recognition and brand volume, meaning when someone is looking for John Smith's cardiology, tree cardiology, to check out the heart of the tree, that is a specific brand search. So it's okay, 400 people a month are searching for that specific brand. They must be important. Up they go in terms of rankings, and when they're ranked higher also means AI overviews are more likely to recommend them. It's the same, more or less the same algorithm. Definitely lots of things that need to be done extra to optimize for AI, but it's the same, it's just a robot still. It reads text. Wow, this wind is crazy. I'm not sure how good this audio is going to be. So what does that mean for the business? It means that the business must allocate time or resources or money to be publishing not just a post on social media. You want to get some eyeballs. Now, why a business wouldn't be doing this right now when there's a big battle for attention across TikTok and all the social media giants, where literally if you load up any kind of video that's under a minute or whatever the real limitation is right now, like a minute and a half or 3 minutes, you're going to have this line 10, 20, 30 eyeballs that the search engines will push out at you. Now, if your content does well, you're going to have thousands, hundreds of thousands. So why wouldn't you want that? The more people find you on socials while they're taking a poop on the toilet and they're scrolling, the more likely it is they might be like, you know what, I think my tree does need a Egyptian cardiologist. They're going to Google your name, meaning they found you on socials, they remembered your brand, and they have gone to the search engines or AI, it's the same shit, and searched for your term, for your brand. That gives them signals of importance. That gets you shown higher. And this is just what I'm experiencing with all of my sites, all of my test sites. If the total marketing budget and $5,000 or $10,000 a month was going just into SEO, if you can't spend any more, don't, just take some of that budget. But basically, traffic from a blog on 10 tips on retirement planning. How many financial advisors have published the same regurgitated stuff on that topic in the last few years since the release of AI and the ability to just pump out meaningless stuff? Now, not to say that you shouldn't produce that, but the way I just did it is just on the weekend, went to Reddit. There's lots of forums, there's lots of communities. I downloaded 10,000 comments of the latest 30 posts that were mostly upvoted and mostly trafficked. The last 30 days, I downloaded the themes, the topics, the comments, arguments from, to and from, and I basically created a structure of 33 high quality pieces of guide-like content, which will go up as blogs, but this content is highly relevant to just the recent interest rates that were released. This is relevant to the pain points of locals in Melbourne and their rental crisis. Do they even have a chance of home? So we're writing content on the topics that are being spoken on right now. And you can do the same with TikTok and just get content ideas. You don't need to have crazy tools to this. But then I took it one step further and I created a script that the advisors should read out with their 5 cents as social media reels. I then created interview questions, which I'll be asking them when I catch up with them next time for a seminar or we catch up in general. And so if you think about this now, guide-like blog content still goes up with the latest topics. Social media content goes up, YouTube goes up. There's so much attention that is signaling to the AI gods and Google to check out these latest posts. This is a must. If you're relying only on Google traffic, those days are done. Like, we're still heavily optimizing for Google, but we're diversifying and getting attention from other platforms, which then helps us rank on Bing. And on Google, Bing is ChatGPT and Google has Gemini. Like, Google's going to crush it at the end of the day with all their language models. They're already crushing it.